Good morning, fifth grade Belmont students. Dr. Milam is going to give you your first video of your lesson for today. We are going to be in Module 4, Lesson 16. Our objective is that we would solve problems using tape diagrams and fraction by fraction multiplication. So I'm going to go right to the problem set. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get to your problem set, and then I'm going to get started. All right, so our first problem talks about Mrs. Onusko. She made 60 cookies for a bake sale. She sold two-thirds of them and gave three-fourths of the remaining cookies to the students working at the sale. How many cookies did she have left? Okay, so we're going to start with a tape diagram. And so I'm going to draw a tape diagram here on the screen. And so that is going to represent our 60 cookies. Okay. All right. So this is our whole, as we talked about before. And then we're going to take our whole. Whoops. Going to take our whole here. And we're going to look at the first piece of information that we have. She sold two-thirds of them. So I've got to know how many cookies she actually sold. So we know that our bottom number here is our divisor. That's going to tell us how we're going to break up the amount of cookies that we have. And so we're going to divide that into thirds. So if I have 60 cookies and I'm dividing them into 3 equal parts, that means that each part represents 20 cookies. And for right now, there's a reason why Dr. Milam is putting this at the very bottom. Okay, so that's 20 cookies. It says, oh, and I want two-thirds of them. So now I'm going to shade. Okay, I'm going to see if I can change colors here. This is all new to me. I'm going to change colors on the shading. And so this is my first box. This is my second box. So how many cookies did she actually sell? Well, I want 2 boxes. So that means that she sold 40 cookies. Okay, here's our 40 cookies. This is really difficult to do without a mouse. And so we're going to call that 40 cookies. Okay. All right. It says she gave three-fourths of the remaining cookies. So this is what's remaining. And it said that she gave three-fourths of them. So now we have to take what's remaining and divide that into fours. Well, the question is, how many cookies is that? Well, I'm taking my 20 cookies and I'm dividing that into 4 equal groups. So that means that there are 5 cookies. I'm going to try and get a mouse today. There are 5 cookies in each group. How many did she give away? 3 out of the 4 equal groups. So she gave away 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, then the question says, how many cookies did she have left? And I hope that you see that there are 5 cookies left. Okay, we're going to go on to our next problem. And all of these problems in this particular problem set follow the same pattern. Okay, but we don't ever want to make a assumption. So Joachim is icing 30 cupcakes. Okay, so there's 30 cupcakes. And remember, we're going to use our tape diagram to work these problems out. Dr. Mom's not doing this perfectly. Here's our 30 cupcakes. And he spreads mint icing on 1/5. So that tells me right away I've got to divide this into 5 equal groups. How many groups do I want? I only want 1 out of the 5, okay? But before I do that, I need to know how many cupcakes are in each group. So if I've got 30 cupcakes and I divide them into 5 equal groups, that means that there are 6 cupcakes in each group. How many groups do I want? I only want 1 group. So this is the group that I want. And they said mint icing, so we're going to use, let's use a green one. Mint icing. So that's my 1 group. So there are 6 cupcakes in that group. All right, so then it says, and chocolate on 1/2 of the remaining cups. So that means that I've got all of these cupcakes here. Okay, 1/2, and chocolate on 1/2 of the remaining cups. The rest will get vanilla icing. Okay, 1/2. So I can think about this 2 ways. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Only half of those 4 parts will get chocolate. So let's use brown. So if there are 4 parts, then that means I'm going to do only 2 of them. They get chocolate. Okay? Then it says the rest will get vanilla. So that means that this is what's left over. Dr. Marlin is going to shade that a very light yellow. Okay? Just so that you can see. This is what gets vanilla. How many cupcakes is that? That's 12 cupcakes. 12 cupcakes. All right, really hard to draw. It's hard to do text with this, okay? 12 cupcakes. I promise the next video is going to be better, okay? All right, I'm also going to start to do the actual math with this so that you could just see, okay, what's going on. So I'm going to do that on the next one, now that we have 2 problems down with the tape diagram. All right, so the Booster Club sells 240 cheeseburgers, okay? So we already know that that's going to be our whole. We're going to draw our tape diagram. We're going to label it 240 cheeseburgers. All right, it says 1/4 of the cheeseburgers had pickles. So 1/4 lets me know that I'm going to divide this into 4 equal groups. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's my 4 equal groups. And 1/4 of those had pickles. But first of all, I got to find out what's in each one of these. So 240 divided by 4 means that there are 60 cheeseburgers. And you might want to do this first before you even look at the next piece of this. You may want to just write down how much is each part. Okay, you could write your 60 inside the box too, but on some of these we have to like divide them, so that's why I'm not putting the 60 in there. Okay, I'm just putting it at the bottom, but we do know that 1/4, so I've got 4 boxes. There are 60 cheeseburgers in each box. One of the boxes, right, because 1 out of 4 had pickles. All right, so let's use a green for pickles. All right, so there's my pickles. Okay, everybody got pickles. I know you like pickles. So that means 60 out of the 240. So that's also like saying one, watch this, 1/4 of 240 equals 60. That's what that's saying. That's the math of it. Okay, this is the picture of that. 1/4 is equal to 60. Now, let's read this very carefully. It says half of the remaining burgers. Oh boy. Half of the remaining burgers had onions and the rest had tomatoes. All right, so here's where it gets a little tricky because I have how many parts left? I've got 3 parts left. And sometimes that can be kind of difficult to divide in half because 3 divided by 2 is how much? That's 1.5. You guys know that already. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide. Watch this. Watch Dr. Milo. Watch me. I'm going to divide each piece that's left into halves. Because if I do that, then I can actually count and see how much is half. It's hard to break 3 into half, 2 equal parts. So if I divide each part by 2, then let's see how much I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it's very easy then to divide 6 to take half of 6. Okay, so half of 6 is just 3. So red is going to represent our onions today. Okay, so I'm taking 3. Well, I don't know how many burgers was in each one. Slow down, Dr. Milam. Well, if I divided 60 in half, then what's in each of these little parts? There are 30. There are 30. There are 30 burgers that actually have 30 burgers in each one. So there are 30. Each of these halves here have 30. So how many parts of that did I want? I only wanted 1/2. Remember, we took what was remaining and we divided that in halves. And then we counted because that was easier than trying to take the original 3. So remember, we had the original 3 that we were trying to take half of. So this is hard to take half of. But if we divide that, if we divide each one of these in half, then how many pieces do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I want half of that, which is 3 parts. Okay, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So how much was in each one? It was 30 in each one. So that means that there are 90 that have onions. Okay, 90 that have onions. Whew, it's a lot of work, right? What did our 60 represent? Remember, it was 240 cheeseburgers. 1/4 had what? Pickles. Pickles. Let's make sure that we label that pickles. Okay, so this is pickles. It's trying to give me a text box there. All right, pickles. You're going to do better on your paper. Okay. All right, I still have all of these cheeseburgers that are left that are unaccounted for. Well, how many of them are there? There are 90 that's left, and they all had a tomato because it says over here, it says the rest had tomatoes. So that means that 90 of them had tomatoes. Uh, all right, you get it. You're going to finish writing tomatoes here, okay? All right. All right, so we did the math of this one. 1/4 of 240 is equal to 60 pickles. Okay? It says half of the remaining. So that means that 240 minus 60 is how much? It's 180. And we saw that here because 60 plus 60 plus 60 is 180. So they said half of the remaining. So 1/2 of 180, that's equal to 90. Well, we did that. There it is right there. There's the 90. Here's the 90 that had onions. Okay? And the rest had tomato. So you could take your 180 here, subtract 90 here, and you get 90. Okay? So that's the math of it. You choose. Pictures help us to understand it a little bit better. And because this is a video, you can stop it. Okay? All right, we're going to keep going. We've got 4 more problems to do. Okay? All right, so Deshaun is sorting his rock collection. Uh-oh. It doesn't look like we know how many rocks he has. Ah, that's our unknown. They never told us. Well, we'll read the rest of the problem and see. But right now it says he's sorting his rock collection. It says 2/3 of the rock are metamorphic and 3/4 of the remainder are indigenous rocks. If the three rocks left over, if the 3 rocks left over are sedimentary, how many rocks does Sean have? Yeah. So that's the part that we don't know. So what did Dr. Milam tell you um, about what it is that you don't know? Okay. Sometimes we can use one, but it actually tells you how many rocks are left over. So let's see what we can do about this. Okay. So I'm definitely going to use a tape diagram. Let's see. I'm still in my green. How about we get to back to black? All right, so what do we know so far? We know that 2/3, probably should have drew this a little bit bigger. 2/3, and you know how to represent 2/3. 2/3 of the rocks are shading in 2/3 are metamorphic. Okay, so how about we use M to represent metamorphic? Okay, so I'm going to say that this is equal to M. And 3/4 of the remainder are igneous. Okay, 3/4 of the remainder. So here's the remainder right here. Remainder looks a little different than what you have been used to. It says 3/4. So that means that we need to divide this into 4 equal parts. 3/4. 3/4 are in igneous. So we're going to use an I for that, and we're going to call it blue. Okay, so I'm going to shade this in igneous. You might have a better word for that. So 3/4 of that represents this rock. Watch out, watch out, watch out. All right. It says if 3 rocks left over are sedimentary, how many rocks does he have? Okay, so that means that we know how much this box right here represents. And let's use a purple. That means this box right here represents 3 rocks. I'm going to draw it again. This box, I'm going to first color it purple. This box here represents 3 rocks. Is everybody with me? I hope you are. So if this box is sedimentary, but even more important, if this box represents 3 and this box right here, we divided that into 4 equal parts. So that means that each box is equal to 3. So this is 3, this is 3, and this is 3. That means that this color here, there were actually 9 rocks. Is everybody with me on that one? This was actually 9 rocks. Now, they didn't even ask us for that, but we will need that in order to figure them all out. So this was 9. So altogether, 3 plus the 9 gives us what? That gives us 12. So if this part, remember let's go back to the original tape diagram that we divided into 3 equal parts. So this whole part here is now 12. But remember that we broke that into 3 equal parts. So that means that each part is 12. How many rocks did he have all together? He had 36 rocks. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. Milan. Ah, look at that, Dr. Milam. Dr. Milam. All right, I'm going to write my name up here, Dr. Milam. I can get this to work. All right, let's write it in black. Dr. Milam. All right, Dr. Milam puts 1/4 of her lawn mowing money. I mow lawns? Oh, God. 1/4 of her lawn mowing money in savings and uses 1/2 of the remaining money to pay back her sister. Blasted, I owe my sister. All right, so if she has $15 left, how much did she have at first? All right, so, I'm going to draw a tape diagram. And I put 1/4 of it in savings. I don't know how much I started with. All I know is how much I have left. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this problem because I have to work backwards. So 1/4 of the lawn is in savings. All right, so let's use green for savings. All right, so this is my savings. Yay. Okay, this is my savings. This is my savings. Okay. All right. And then 1/2 of the remaining money uses 1/2 of the remaining to pay back her sister. So I'm going to put that in red because I owe her. Okay. But it says half of what's remaining. So look at this. We're in this pickle again where we have just 3 components. Okay. And so it's hard to take an odd number and break it in half. So if we take each part and break it in half. Okay. Now, how many parts do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So half of that, half of what's left, half of this. Now we have 6 parts. So half of that is 3. Okay. And the reason why, not that there's $3 in there, but it's 3 parts. So now we know that this part, 3 out of the 6 boxes, I have to pay back my sister. Okay. So this is pay sister. Pay sister. You're going to do better than Dr. Marlon. Okay. Pay my sister. All right, so I have $15 left. Aha. So if I have $15 left, so that means these 3 boxes represent $15 because this is what's left. I haven't shaded these boxes. This is what's left. Okay, so that means that there are $5 in each box. But remember where these little boxes came from? Remember we had our original 4th? Okay, and so I'm going to break this up into 4ths. Remember that this was the save. This is the save. Okay, that was my save. Let me just do green on that because it's kind of wigging out on me there. So that's the save part. And remember, we took this 3 boxes and we divided that into 6 equal parts. So that means that 1, 2, 3. These 3 boxes is $5 in each one. But remember, we divided that into 6 equal parts. So that means that this is 5, this is 5, and this is 5. Okay, well, can you see? I'm going to circle it now in black. This was our original 4th. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was our original 4 parts. Okay, so then it says how much did she have at first? So that means I want the entire whole. I want the entire thing. Well, if this part is 10, how did I get 10? 5 plus 5. This part is 10. This part is 10. That means that this part here has to be 10. And so how much money did I start with? I started with, that won't let, oh, there it is, 10. That means I started with $40. I bet a lot of you have questions on this problem. Okay. I want you to restart the video at the very beginning of the problem and walk through it again. Okay. And you can do that with any of the videos that I have done here. Okay. All right. We got 2 more problems to go. Hang in there. Okay. So Oh, is that Anaya Parks? Anaya Parks is wearing several rubber bracelets. One third of the bracelets are tie dye. Oh boy. One sixth are blue, and one third of the remainder are camouflage. Oh boy. If Parks wears two camouflage bracelets, how many bracelets does she have on? Oh boy. Couple different ways that you can do this problem because they actually tell us how many camouflage bracelets. It says one third of the remainder, so one third of some number is equal to two. That's really what they're saying. But let's just take it from the very beginning. It says one third of the bracelets are tie dye and one sixth are blue. Hmm. How about we divide this into 6 parts? Because it's very easy for us to get thirds out of 6. Let's try it. Let's try it. You might want to watch this before you write it down. Okay? All right. So let's divide this into 6 parts. 3. And if it makes more sense, you know what? I think I'm going to do the 3 first and then show you the 6, right? Because this is 3 equal groups, okay? And I'll kind of follow what we've been doing. So this is 3 equal groups. But in order to get 1/6, I would need to divide my thirds. I would need 6 equal parts. So now I'm going to take this and divide each part. Hope you can see that. So now how much do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one third are bracelets. Let's see, what color do you want for bracelets? Let's do purple. One third. So look at the black lines here. The black lines represent thirds. So this is a third. Look at my pointer. This is one third. This is one third. Okay. So one third are tie dye. So that means that I'm going to shade this whole part. Hey, if I shaded this whole part, how many sixths is that? Can you see that? That's 2/6. Yes, you know that. I know you do. All right, so one third are tie dye. Oh, Dr. Mom, can you label it? One third are tie dye. I'm just going to put a T there. Tie dye. All right, and 1/6 are blue. Oh, okay. So look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to take blue and I'm going to just shade. Let's see, I think it's really picky about doing it at 1/6 are blue. Look at that. You with me? Hope you are. Now it says one third of the remainder are camouflage. Oh, okay. So this is what's remaining. Remember that this part is accounted for. Okay? Oh, but this is saying, oh, I think Dr. Marlon messed up. That'll be a marble when we get back. All right, so this, what I just did, let me show you what I did wrong. So I took 1/6 of the one third. That is incorrect. Okay? What I should have done was just done this because that represents 1/6. It's where the blue line is here. So this is one third. Remember the thirds were in black. And now then I divided that each part in half so that we could get sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I was able to shade 2 of those parts to represent one third. and then one part to represent our blue bracelets. Okay, remember, remind me about our marble later. All right, so then 1/3. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at that. It's already in thirds. 1/3 of the remainder are camouflage. So let's use green for that. All right, so this is what's remaining. This says 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. This thing is so particular. 1/3 are camouflage. So that means that I can just shade 1 out of 3 equal parts. Okay. All right. It says if Parks wears 2 camouflage bracelets. How many bracelets does he have on? Oh, does he have on? Oh, sorry, Anaya. All right. So that means that this part here, how many bracelets are in this part right here? This part here, drum roll, is 2 bracelets. 2 bracelets. Come on. All right. That means, remember that this was equal parts. So this is 2. This is 2. Uh-oh. Oh. This is 2. And this is 2. But each part is 1. This is 2. My computer's about to die. So that means that there were 10 bracelets.